I want to bring in Sue Gordon to this conversation, former National Intelligence Principal Deputy Director and a CNBC contributor. Put this in context. How critical is this, and what information do you think is now at risk?
Morning, Andrew. This is big, and you ought to think about it akin to the 2014-15 Russian hacks of state and White House and Joint Chiefs of Staff. A little bit like as big as the Chinese hack on the OPM in the same time frame, but maybe even bigger than that because it is public and private and it is global. So this is a big deal. And it's a big deal not only because of the information they may be having access to, but once you're in a network, you're in. And there are a lot of things you can do. So as we learn more about the actor and as we learn more about the extent of the activity, we'll see what their intention is. But this is not only problematic for the information, but problematic in terms of getting rid of it.
Sue, but here's the question. If you're a business leader today, or frankly, even an individual, is there something that you're supposed to be doing? Is there information that you believe that's now been exposed or potentially even access to your own systems?
Yeah, absolutely. So first things first is see if you're using the software in question. It is very widespread, and so you're going to want to talk to your cybersecurity information officer and see whether it's in your system, and you're going to want to start acting on that right away. I don't think you have to go to widespread panic because if this is, in fact, and it feels like a nation-state actor, if it is Russia, these people invest a lot of resources to affect this kind of hack. So it may not be that everyone has this software is going to be affected, but if you have this software, you should know and start taking precautions. And then the other thing I would tell CEOs and company officials and leaders of organizations is we've seen this mistake in the past is you look just at this software and you forget to look at all the other vulnerabilities of your network. And you forget to look at what's the most important thing that you have in your company. So those three things, see whether you have the software, look at your overall cyber security posture, and as a company, think about what your most valuable information is and work right away to protect it.
What do you think the most information or interesting information, dare I say, is at risk inside Treasury and Commerce, though, for example?
So one of the things to think about is if you're in all the emails and you're in the emails of the decision makers and you're watching the discussions going on, if what they're talking about is what you're interested in, you have the opportunity to beat them to the spot in terms of the decision they're working. If it is telecommunications and infrastructure, if we are talking about spectrum issues, you have a chance to affect your game plan. But even more than that, once you're in that network, once you're seeing people's identities in person, you can move around and hide and find other opportunities within the network. So it's not the first play only, it's the second and third place.
Do you think that the Russians, if they are the actor involved, specifically took advantage of this moment, which is to say this election season, when eyes were all on the election, and dare I say people, you know, for more than 100 days now have been talking falsely about hacks in the election and seem to not be talking about this?
Yeah, well, one, if it is the Russians have their own initiative. This fits into their play, so they may have had these plans for a long time. But it is certainly true that three things are going on. Number one, we've been in the middle of a pandemic. A lot of attention that would have been normally applied to routine processes and systems, we've just been not as able to focus on that. The second, as you suggest, we've been pretty ruthlessly focused on elections, but those are different infrastructure, so don't worry about that. And the third thing is the timing is fascinating because we are in the middle of a presidential transition. So they may have been planning it for a while, but when did we get to choose a chance to see it? That's an interesting question.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.